Well, if you've been living under a rock, then you probably haven't heard about Diddy freak-off parties. And if so, the Infographic Show is here to explain in a short minute, a short couple of minutes, exactly what is a freak-off party.
Where's my invite? Just
For
kidding.
those of you who don't know, P.Diddy just got arrested by the FBI, and as of last week, 120 new victims have come forward accusing him of all sorts of malicious crimes and just absolute deviancy. As Cat Williams said, big dick deviancy.
Dude, I don't know if you saw the meme, but there was, I don't know if it's real or not, I haven't confirmed it yet, but there's like a picture with cops and a box full of interesting solid objects, and they said there was 724 of those solid objects. I'm like, bro, come on, man.
Yeah, I saw it. It was in the Discord. Oh my gosh. Well, let's learn about the Diddy freak-off party.
It's like we're there.
You've been invited to a party hosted by none other than famous rap mogul Puff Daddy. It's gonna be an extravagant gala and definitely going to skyrocket your social media following.
This man just say gala instead of gala?
Yeah, I think so.
Congratulations! You've been invited to a party hosted by none other than famous rap mogul Puff Daddy. It's gonna be an extravagant gala.
Bro, that there's no way that had to be said. Like,
hey, look. Pun intended.
Yeah, it has to be. There's no way. I will say this. You can tell who's an old head versus who's not. And I mean, I might still be young, but I'm old enough to remember, or at least I've enjoyed hip hop enough to remember back when you would call someone a cream puff and that meant they were gay.
Yeah.
And it's like cream puff, Puff Daddy. How many times did 50 Cent call him a cream puff back in the 90s? Like, come on.
Yeah, good point, bro. Good point. Never thought about that.
Yeah.
Going to skyrocket your social media following. But when you get there, it's just Diddy and a few of his close friends looking like plankton in his basement dungeon. And you're being told to take a bottle of lube to a private room to prepare yourself, all while Diddy licks his lips and looks at you, whispering to himself, "I was in one bedroom, dreaming of a million. Now I'm in beach houses, cream to the ceiling." As you're about to find out, one of Puff Daddy's most famous lyrics could have been quite literal. 1,000 bottles of lube, enough to fill a very large aquarium. This was the shocking discovery inside of one of Puff Daddy's homes after a federal search warrant was executed against him. And all of that lube, well, it was meant to be used by some of your favorite celebrities, and what Diddy...
You know what they're alleging is mixed in with the lube, right?
What?
MDMA.
Really?
Yeah, people are thinking that because he had so much of the lube and everything that it was probably had MDMA in there in order to keep people going. Because I don't know if you remember, but like it's been already reported that like they had to bring in IVs and stuff so people could keep going.
Oh yeah,
and
I heard about that one.
Yeah, and it's like if you've ever been high or anything like that, your senses are down, your energy can be up because you don't feel as tired.
Yeah.
Depending on if you're on an upper or a downer.
Yeah.
Called freak-off parties. Try to picture 1,000 bottles of lubricant. Odds are you're not picturing enough. At 12 fluid ounces each, Diddy's freak-out lube stash would be almost enough to completely fill a 100-gallon fish tank.
That's fucking wild, bro.
Why did Diddy need enough lube to create a slip and slide that could stretch across the...
The other one, too, though, is the fact that another alleged thing is that he was utilizing it as liquid cocaine for shipping. Because you can liquefy cocaine.
Yeah, you can. That's a good point too. Damn, there's gonna be a lot of shit that's gonna come out about this. You know what I mean?
Oh yeah.
There's gonna be a lot.
I mean, that's if Diddy doesn't, accidentally kill himself.
In my craft.
Yeah.
The length of a movie theater from the lobby to the front screen, and we mean that literally. 1,000 12-ounce bottles equals about 93 gallons. Which would let you cover a slip and slide 6 feet wide and around 630 feet long with 1 millimeter of personal lubricant, or a total surface area of almost 350 meters. At Diddy's movie theater, you could slide in the front door on a cushion of sex lube, whiz by the concession stand for your popcorn and soda, and then slide into your front row seats right by the big screen. And what's playing in Diddy's theater? Well, one of his personal home movies, but more on that soon. First, let's talk about enough lube to drown an elephant seal. Americans buy in bulk, as we know, and there's a Costco right down the street.
Oh yeah, I heard about this.
These are statements from P. Diddy's lawyer in response to the discovery of 1,000 bottles of lubricant and baby oil at Diddy's home. While it is true that Americans enjoy bargain shopping from big box stores, most Americans also don't need enough lubricant to fully insert a Minuteman intercontinental ballistic missile into a missile silo that is a little
Jesus Christ, how many freaking anecdotal things did he do? How much research did he do in order to make all of these parallels?
The Infographics Show is known for their, I guess, attention to detail, and their accuracy. So that's probably what this is. Like, he's just trying to really put it into perspective how much it was.
Oh yeah, I understand that, but it's like you're measuring lube in freaking slip and slides, American. Like, the dude doesn't sound American, but it's like, Americans, man, if we're not measuring in bald eagles and freedom, we don't know how to, you know. Jesus.
And shell casings. You forgot about shell casings.
Yeah, we measure everything. We will measure in anything except for meters. It's like the imperial system.
Damn right.
Because this is their first time. The public discovery of Diddy's freak-off parties come alongside startling revelations from the numerous criminal cases against him. In 2023, Sean John Combs, a.k.a. P. Diddy, a.k.a. Diddy, a.k.a. Puff Daddy, a.k.a. Lube Daddy, a.k.a. P. Slip and Slide, a.k.a. Federal Defendant Number 1, saw his entire career unwind with allegations that he had abused and exploited
like
former
a crypto
girlfriend
convention.
Cassandra
That's hilarious.
Ventura, also known as Cassie. He was 37 years old and she was just 19 when they first met, quickly making her financially and career dependent on him. At these freak-off parties, it's alleged that he forced Cassie to perform acts on others against her will. The case would be settled out of court without the terms of the settlement being publicly revealed. However, it's likely that this included
It's crazy how close together Mr. McMahon's like lawsuit happened, and then how quickly after that the whole P. Diddy thing happened.
Yeah, that's actually true. Yeah.
Yeah, I wonder, you know.
But it's like we said before, once you reach like billionaire status, you're all in the same circles.
Yeah, that's true. It doesn't really matter the color of your skin. Most people only see green at that point.
Oh yeah, 100%, dude.
very large financial compensation. There's no word on compensation for Diddy blowing up Kid Cudi's car after he became enraged to discover that Cudi had been dating Cassie. Given how much lube Diddy had on hand, getting his car blown up was the least of Cudi's worries. But Cassie's lawsuit was the tip of the iceberg, because Puff Daddy, aka Lube Master 3000, was already facing several other cases for exactly the same type of behavior. And front and center of these allegations were P. Baby Oil Diddy's freak-off parties, for both legal reasons and to protect their reputations. It has become incredibly difficult to get solid details on what exactly went on at these freak-off parties from those who attended.
I think we can all assume.
NDAs.
Hey.
I can only imagine.
Yeah, I know, right?
It's crazy because when like all of these lawsuits first popped up, like the first thing I thought in my mind, obviously, is I think like most people did, depending, right, is like, okay, well, this probably did happen. Maybe, who knows? Like when Cassie first started her lawsuit, it's like, you have to take it with a grain of salt in the sense that this happens to major moguls all the time. As soon as he paid her off, I was like, brother, in my mind, I'm like, what are you doing? Like, then anybody else who might have a story similar to hers or tells a story similar to hers, you're going to have to pay them off too. But then you go from one potential victim to 10 potential victims to now 100 potential. And it's like, okay, somebody just opened the floodgate. That's all that was.
Oh, 100%. And that just gave, the authorities the right to fucking seize everything, go through everything with a fine tooth comb, which I'm glad they did, because if what they're alleging is true, this motherfucker needs to go. That's all I'm saying.
Oh, he's going to be gone. Everyone's going to think, oh, he's in a little federal prison somewhere. No. Old boy's going out like Jeffrey Epstein.
Hey.
There are literally 1,000 bottles of lube and baby oil involved. Odds are, with that much lubricant to make things nice and slippery, Diddy and his guests were not hosting a chess club. Some leaks have emerged, though, painting a sordid picture of Combs' freak-off parties. Allegedly, they involved multi-day-long marathons of physical debauchery. with P. Diddy,
Jesus.
aka Slip Daddy, flying in sex workers specifically for the events.
Yup.
That particular allegation seems to have some basis in reality, as amongst the many charges Diddy seems unable to slip out of are related to sex trafficking across state lines, for which he is being prosecuted under the infamous Mann Act. Allegedly, Diddy's...
Well, it's not just that. Like, outside of things that are being alleged, like, you also have to think about the people who are doing it. Former bodyguards, other people who were there, his own, like, a couple of days prior to the indictment that came down on him, his cocaine smuggler, his drug dealer, ended up getting arrested on the tarmac right in front of Diddy before he got on the private plane. Like, the people got taken down around Diddy before they ever went after Diddy.
Well, a lot of time too, if they have like a big target, they'll start fucking with like the smaller targets, trying to get them to flip.
Yep.
And the more they can get on them, and whoever has the most like verifiable information will definitely get a lighter sentence. And I promise you, if some of these people do testify, they're gonna walk. I promise you.
Most definitely. Most definitely. And I mean, it's always going to be the supplier who's going to want to turn around and cop to it first, because his drug dealer, while rich, he is not in the position that Diddy is. He doesn't have the power that Diddy does.
Nope.
He's just providing the drugs. So it's either A, you go to jail for the rest of your life, or B, you know, maybe you spend a couple of years in jail, but you get out, you know, in due time, or they give them immunity or something.
Yeah, or
they want the big fish.
yeah, that's what I'm saying. Like, or they'll put them in like witness protection or something. Like they go up there, testify, and never seen again. You know, like a lot of these dudes are going to take that deal 100%.
Oh, yeah. And don't get it twisted. Diddy may be a freak, but Diddy a killer too. Okay. It's already, it's already come out. Like he's like, you know, walked people down in bathrooms and stuff. And with his own son too. Like he shot people with his own kid. Like, Jesus.
Begin after his famous white parties, which would attract major celebrities such as Leonardo DiCaprio and Mariah Carey. However, after the A-listers left, Diddy would put on a completely different show for a select group of friends. Michael Kaplan of the New York Post, who broke details on freak-offs, reported that Diddy would lure in women whom he was personally managing or had met at various adult clubs, along with sex workers. Using either drugs, money, or power over their career, Diddy forced the women to participate. Afterwards, to ensure their silence, he would use video footage taken at the events as blackmail leverage or simply threaten to ruin their career. But freak-offs had other surprises of their own. According to a well-placed drug dealer who was invited to one of these events, male rappers would engage in acts with each other as well, including some very high-profile and well-known talent whose names have not come to the...
Not true. Meek Mill. There's audio.
Yeah, Meek Mill. And then they also said, I think Justin Bieber came out and said that some shit happened with him. And then,
there's videos.
And then Usher as well.
Yeah, well, Usher was like hanging out with Diddy, I think, when he was like a kid still, like a teenager.
Oh, yeah.
So,
those definitely some underage shit going on, 100%.
Oh, yeah. Diddy's done. Diddy's cooked. Listen, the FBI has like a 98% conviction rate. Okay.
Yeah, you
and
ain't
that
fucking 2%, with them, bro.
Yeah, that 2% is like people who don't make it to trial. Okay.
Yeah.
Like.
However, for any fan of the Boondocks, this type of behavior has long been an open secret amongst the hip-hop community.
Oh, yeah.
Heavy security would ensure complete privacy, and only people personally invited by Combs were allowed to enter. Threats of violence, drug addiction, and blackmail were all used to ensure complete secrecy, as well as a healthy amount of payouts for at least some individuals, such as Cassie. Even if guests wanted to leave, the sheer amount of personal lubricant flooding the party space would have made that difficult. There's also been no publicly released footage or any photos from any of these freak-off parties, though low-effort media has been using old clips or photos from legitimate white parties that Diddy hosted in their place as clickbait. Allegations that celebrities like Kevin Hart, Leonardo DiCaprio, or Beyonce attended these parties are unproven and rely entirely on photos and videos of them at known white parties. Combs is, at the time of writing, behind bars at the Metropolitan Detention Center after being labeled a flight risk. As federal raids against his U.S. homes were being carried out back in March, Diddy had taken his private plane to Antigua in the Caribbean. Thinking the situation over, he decided to return and was subsequently denied bail requests. Commenting on the discovery of 1,000 bottles of lubricant in one of his homes, Diddy, through his lawyer, wanted it to be clear that the presence of over 90 gallons of lube and baby oil was not, quote, as nefarious as it seemed. Because who doesn't have a commercial-sized aquarium's worth of personal lubricant for various needs in their home? Sean Slippery Combs is facing...
Yeah, wasn't there like a big thing where I guess like they did that and then like Costco came back and like retweeted something?
His lawyer said that basically he bought it at Costco. Costco came out and said that they've never sold that specific type of lubricant of Johnson and Johnson. And then not only that, but it's like, how would you even buy 1,000 bottles? You'd have to go straight to like the manufacturer and ask for a crate.
Oh yeah, definitely. And the other thing is, how else do you explain it other than like nefarious?
Yeah, I mean,
how do
unless
you
you're
explain
like
that, dude?
unless you're like Mr. Beast making a video or something, you know, like there is no way to explain it. And I'm pretty sure lube goes bad. Like you would have to constantly be replacing it.
Yeah, definitely. Like there's like I guess like the Mr. Beast games if he like needed it for some sort of thing, but it's still a little weird. Like, hey, I got 900 and some gallons of, or yeah, like 93 gallons of lube. You know, we're about to get down. You know what I mean? Like, how I don't know any other like legitimate way to explain it other than nefarious shit, like they're saying.
Yeah. Like, I mean, it would only be explainable in a sense as if you're doing it to make a video, if you're doing it for like some single time use.
Yeah.
Like that's it. Like when people, like back in the day when people would like fill up bathtubs with like pudding to jump into a cannonball inside of it for like views and shit.
Yeah.
But that's like a one-time thing. It's not like they left the pudding out there and just kept swimming in the pool, you know? Like
Yeah, definitely.
Serious jail time for the charges against him, even as the details of freak-off parties remain tightly under wraps by federal prosecutors. At a minimum, Combs faces 15 years in prison, though it's possible he could spend the rest of his life in prison if the federal sex trafficking charges are proven, along with a $250,000 fine. The real question is, how do federal authorities hope to keep a man behind bars who has spent so much of his life steeped in gallons and gallons of personal lubricant now slip into this video? The wealthy elite.
That's funny.
So here's the thing about the case against Diddy, right? In order to prove the sex trafficking thing, they're gonna have to tie him to the girls being trafficked, to the people. And when you're a person like Diddy, or when you're in a position like Diddy, everything is either like third hand done or fourth or fifth. Like Diddy tells somebody who tells somebody who tells somebody who tells somebody who gets somebody to do something.
Oh,
Like it is so detached away from him in case it comes back on him like this, right? So they're gonna need to find the people. They're gonna need to find that chain of I don't want to say chain of command, but they're gonna have to try and find that, you know, that link. And they might be able to find somebody who went and picked the girls up and brought them to Diddy. But if that person's not willing to turn around and testify and say this is what he wanted versus, oh, I was just doing this for him to get in his good graces, it could fall flat. But again, it's the FBI. They don't fuck around.
No, they don't. And the other thing is, I know they're saying like interstate, you know, they'd have to like show where they were, the dude came and picked him up, where they drove, like how far it was distance, all that other shit. There's a lot to go down, but as you said, FBI don't really lose like that. So, and if anyone can make the case for that, it is the FBI.
And there's so many big names attached to this that it's entirely possible all the evidence, or a vast majority of the evidence that was seized at Diddy's party or at Diddy's home will never see the light of day. Because the amount of names, the amount of money attached to the names that were possibly on his list, the FBI isn't going to risk losing campaign donors, losing state officials. Like they're going to go ahead and let the low-hanging fruit, the people they don't really need, go down. But as far as like huge names that are integrated into like the police the police system or integrated in like with council members, stuff like that, that's all going to be tried to be pushed behind closed doors as best as possible.
Oh, 100%. But I don't know if you've ever watched The Wire, but as they say, follow the money. The money will take you everywhere.
Oh yeah,
So
money never lies.
there was there's a money trail some fucking where, and depending on how far it goes, who all they look for, I mean, there may end up being like some higher level people. Like I think you brought up like Leonardo and Beyonce. I don't see them sitting in court testifying against Diddy. They're just not. So they'll probably have like their lawyers like issue a statement or something to that effect, but they're not going to show up. And I also don't see the FBI bringing in a shit ton of, A-list celebrities into the court as well. I just don't see it happening.
No, I see them definitely. They're going to focus on Puff Daddy, on Sean, and then they're going to focus on like the criminal elements, like the gang members that he associates himself with, the drug dealers, the sex traffickers, and his probably going to have some bodyguards go down for not wanting to testify against him. Like it's going to be stuff like that. It's not going to be, oh, here comes Matthew McConaughey to testify against P. Diddy. Like, that's not how it's going to go.
Not at all. And if people are hoping for that, they're going to be sadly disappointed.
Oh, yeah.
But
no.
But, with these people that say they won't flip on Diddy or turn on Diddy, if they get him in a damn room long enough, isolated, no window, no clock, nothing, they're just in there, their mind starts fucking with them. They walk in, offer them a certain deal, bro. They'll flip like a motherfucker, bro.
Oh, yeah, this isn't some, slap on the wrist, only being able to be held for 48 hours. No. This is you're in jail until trial is over.
Yep.
Like they can keep them and hold them and do what they want.
And the thing is, though, if the FBI is bringing charges against somebody and they put that shit in front of their face and say, we'll offer you 2-3 years, but you got to testify, bro, these motherfuckers are going to jump at it, dude.
Well, and they're also not going to get the same like a low-level drug dealer. He's going to Gen Pop. He isn't going to federal prison. He's not getting his own cell like P. Diddy. And if you're in Gen Pop with people knowing that you're linked to Diddy, well, kids are involved in this. And Gen Pop is not a place you survive if that's your area. So they're going to want as much protection as possible, which means they're going to flip as soon as possible. And if they flip, well, that's going to go to Diddy because now Diddy's getting a list of people who are willing to testify against him. And as it's already been stated, Diddy has shot people point blank without giving a fuck and left them there dying. So it's a damned if you do, damned if you don't. But you know what? One really good way to not be in this situation is to just not be a piece of shit.
Shocking, bro. You just blew my fucking mind right now. Let me tell you.
I know. Crazy, right?
Yeah. But I thought this was an interesting watch. I like the infographic show. They break shit down and they use like animations and also comedy and where they can be comedy. But I mean, I thought this was a pretty good representation of it.
I liked it. It wasn't one of those things where it's like a documentary on it. It was a very quick, like, hey, this is kind of what's been going on in the world of Diddy as of late. But leave in the comments below what you guys think is going to happen. And if there's one famous person you hope to not be on that list, who would it be?
For me, it's Matthew McConaughey. That's the GOAT of acting.
Yeah, you know what? If it was for me, it would have to be like, it would have to be somebody who is like seen as completely and utterly wholesome, like Russell Crowe. Yeah. Like somebody who like, it can't be Maximus, man. Like it has to be somebody. Yeah, it's like, it's almost as if you were like to find out like Mr. Rogers was like a rapist or something.
And we don't mean Boogie.
Yeah, we don't mean Boogie. All right, guys, catch you in the next one.
Later.